Well, it's the holiday season, and Jeff and Shaleia are just the gifts that keep on giving. Now, I had a totally different topic planned for today's video because this is not an anti Twin Flames universe channel. This is an anti cult channel. So I was going to do a deep dive on a totally different cult. But then my intel shared with me some of the posts that Jeff and Shaleia have been sharing in their open forum, and some of the responses, which are even better. So I thought today would be a great opportunity to once again try to prove to Jeff and Shaleia that their methods of trying to prove that they're not cult leaders is actually proving that they are cult leaders. So sit back, relax, take a nice deep breath, and let the fresh Erin. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're brand new. My name is Erin, and I am fascinated by all things cults, true crime, and unique spiritual practices. I post 3 videos a week on one of these topics, so if you like stuff like this, please stick around. I would absolutely love to have you here. And this holiday season, I am sponsoring a single mother in each of my videos. So today, our single mother is Melissa. Here's what she shared to me. I am a single mom to a beautiful, smart daughter. She is 6 years old and her name is Sophia. We have 0 help from her biological father. My girl was diagnosed at 5 years old with moderate IDD, which is intellectual development disorder. So she suffers with learning disabilities and speech disorder. She's 6 years old, but her brain is 2 to 3 years delayed, making her like a 4-year-old. She will intellectually develop to an age and then stop maturing. I love her unconditionally, and she is my one and only child. It's been hard having no support, but we prevail. I have included her Amazon wish list. Even one item off her list would make her Christmas so much more enjoyable. Thank you so much for a wonderful gesture. And she included a photo of Sophia, but because I want to protect the child's privacy, I'm not going to share it, but she is such a sweet little girl. The picture is her with her hands on her hips in this like cute little pink fox shirt, and she has little pigtails. It's really cute. She has a little like kitty purse too. She's really, really cute. So the link to that Amazon wish list will be in the pinned comment down below. And now let's get right on into this video. Normally, a business, when it receives a ton of pushback or it's exposed for shady business practices, the PR person will try to help the CEO or the owner of the president of that company try to like manage the public distress by putting out a statement that either says they're going to conduct an investigation about the wrongdoings within their company or taking accountability for some of the wrongdoings. They rarely totally, completely deny certain allegations. So you would think that since Jeff and Shaleia of the Twin Flames universe are such great business owners, they would be doing the same thing, right? Wrong, apparently, because every single step that Jeff and Shaleia have taken to try to deny the allegations that have been presented in multiple documentaries, multiple articles, and by multiple ex-members, which I have an ex-member interview coming out this weekend, so please stick around for that. It is fascinating. So when I see some of the posts that Jeff specifically is making, part of me has to laugh at it. And if I do laugh in this video, it's because it's so completely transparent that he is not taking any accountability and he's behaving just like every other cult leader there has ever been. It's fascinating to have someone be so living in such a false reality that they can't take any accountability. They just do exactly what cult leaders do, which is accuse and have ad hominem attacks, which are basically like personal attacks. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he found this video and said something like, well, you're ugly and sad and living in fear and you'll always be alone. Some stupid stuff like that. So I also want to disclaim that everything I share in this video is just my opinion. These are alleged, and I am just commentating on what I am seeing in his self-proclaimed open forum, which anyone is free to go join. And apparently many people have joined over the last month or so, and a lot of people in the group will say, oh, it's because everyone loves us and the Netflix documentary just made us more famous. No, you're getting trolled, bro. You're getting trolled. If I was still in the group, I would be totally trolling. I would love to just have a roast of Jeff and Shaleia, but the intention of this video is to show you all more proof of how Jeff is operating like a cult leader. We've done a lot of videos on how people get into the cult, what goes on inside the cult, and how to get out of the cult. And we've done a little bit about the leaders, and it's just really ironic to claim that you're not a cult leader when it's like you looked up a book in the library, like how to be the best cult leader, and you're doing everything that it said. Because the first thing cult leaders do when they're caught or accused of misbehavior is to go on the defensive instead of take any accountability. So let's get right into this quite ridiculous post for someone who's been accused of abusing people to make. Jeff says, on wealth and abundance. This is my 2023 Mercedes Maybach. It's sparkling cleaned because it gets detailed every week by my assistant. This week it goes back to the dealership for snow tires and service. They also put snow tires on my Porsche, even though it's a competing brand, because they really appreciate my business and want to treat me well as a customer. They'll give me another Mercedes to use in the meantime for my convenience. Who cares? Like, great customer service, Mercedes. And also, I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of independent contractors and business owners know this. There is a tax incentive for buying a certain size of a vehicle. Okay, so if you are making a certain amount of money and you purchase a certain size of a vehicle, it can be written off as a business expense. It's this weird loophole. And it's like, well, you can only really afford it if you're making a certain amount of money because these cars can cost $70K, $100K. And it's like, there's no real use of the car, you know? Like, there are certain luxury vehicles that are included in this incentive. And it's like, how is that really supporting your business? But for whatever reason, it's a loophole that a lot of like influencers who are wealthy, creators, independent contractors, business owners in general, they use this loophole to lower their taxable income. And I would not be surprised if this particular vehicle was a part of that incentive, because we know Jeff is always trying to undercut authorities and get a tax break. I mean, that's why he doesn't pay his employees and he just calls them volunteers. He continues. This isn't the exact color and spec we like. It has a fridge for champagne bottles and custom silver champagne flutes, and it doesn't have tray tables in the rear. The dealership treats us well, and following our $1 million home renovation, we may choose to build a custom Maybach to replace this one. I'm not complaining. This is a fine car and an absolute pleasure to own and drive, but when you create a life of prosperity, you get to choose these options for yourself. Oh, okay. I thought it was because you're exploiting people's desires to fall in love, charging them an exorbitant amount of money, continuously telling people that if they don't fall in love, it's their problem, and if they can't heal themselves, they should just keep buying more courses. And then they're like, I love this work, I want to help people, I'll become a coach. And you're like, okay, we're going to take 50% of your profits, but oh, you could also volunteer for us almost 40 hours a week, and we won't pay you at all to help grow our business. And then we're going to find a bunch of tax deductions and build a church so that we can funnel all of our profits through it, allegedly. But you're right, you live in wealth and abundance. Sorry, I forgot. Oops. Money is a very, very simple concept, and despite what some people with poverty mindsets may try to say, there's actually no way around the basic formula. You can't cheat your way to real success. You can't sell a fantasy and build a life on a lie you sell. It will all fall apart because delusions aren't real. You have to create real value for others. That's how you create real wealth and prosperity. This is rich coming from the guy that is literally not really selling a product. He's not doing anything for people that you can't find online for free. And also, he's practicing or attempting to practice certain trauma therapies that he's invented that have no clinical proof that they work, but trying to claim he can heal trauma within one session or a year. That's not how trauma works, dude. This is exactly he's saying if you don't have something real to offer to people, you won't be successful. What he's saying is since he's successful, obviously he has a lot to offer people. Does that make sense? It's much like, and people will point out in the comments reacting to this particular post, they will come out and say, this sounds a lot like prosperity gospel, which is also basically like connecting God and spirituality to materialism and money. And it's ironic because someone also mentions it sounds a lot like Osho, which I just did a video on him this past week, so you should go check that out. But he says you have to create real value for others. That's how you create wealth and prosperity. But all you're doing is exploiting people. Like, if you look at the facts and take this fluffy, woo-woo, pretty language, word salady language out of it, which are tactics that cult leaders use to diminish the negative impact they're having on other people, you would be able to see that, in my opinion, this is a very, very intentional thing to say. Because he's getting pushback, right, from people having seen the documentary and saying, like, you're a cult leader, you're scamming people, you're not adding real value. This is his way of rejecting all of that and basically putting the blame on other people. Like, if you think that I'm wealthy because I'm exploitative, that's because you have a poverty mindset. Like, get out of here. Most people create value for others by hiring their time out to an employer. The employer pays for their time and ensures that their employees' efforts create more value than their employee costs, thereby creating wealth. It's a cost and a responsibility to have an employee beyond just the paycheck. This in itself creates value for society. Yeah, I'm sure this is what every billionaire CEO says. Oh, well, it's okay if I pay minimum wage and this person can never, ever, ever get to a point of financial success because I'm creating a profit, and that in turn is good for society because I'm employing people. And also, Jeff, take your own advice. Hire some frickin' employees. Your coaches are not W-2 employees, allegedly. They're like 1099 contractors that just like desperately want to give back. Like, give me a break. I notice in our society that if some people feel that if they group together and generate enough anger and hate towards those with wealth, this will help to redistribute the wealth from those who have to those who do not have. While this may sometimes be effective in isolated situations, it is not a worthwhile use of one's creative efforts. Remember, prosperity is created. You create your prosperity vibration. Those who know how to create wealth will create more. Those who do not will never have much for long. Okay, I could get super impassioned and go on a long rant, and I'm stopping myself from doing so because I'm trying to stick to the point. Okay, Erin, stick to the point. This is creating like he is mad that people have been pointing out how dare he flaunt his wealth when he is taking advantage of people and not offering a true, proven product. Just because you have testimonials of people that have liked what you've done doesn't mean that they weren't either coerced into providing that testimonial, or that it's going to work for everyone, or that it is worth the money. It's not. It's not worth the money. There is no way that him and his program can find you your twin flame or soulmate or whatever you call it, because it's an intangible thing, okay? Yes, if you want to go on a healing journey, by all means, we should all be going on a healing journey and looking at ourselves and trying to understand ourselves better. But that alone is not going to get you your partner. And you can't have someone else pick your partner for you. So he's trying to sell that he has the secret to you finding love, and that's his product. He is exploiting people's desires to fall in love. He's preying on people who were born into a certain set of circumstances that might not be able to afford traditional therapy, and he's saying he has the secret weapon or the answer. It's disgusting to me. I used to be very poor. When Shaleia and I met 10 years ago, she was sleeping on a used mattress inside a garage in Sedona. I was living under a tarp in the jungle in Hawaii. We had virtually no money and no opportunity when we began. Now we live a life of prosperity and abundance because we understand the principles of wealth creation. Some people may try to deny the authenticity of our wealth by saying we employ people who work for us for free, but that's not true. You don't employ people who work for you for free. You call people volunteers and then you expect and demand a certain amount of time that they have to devote to your cause in order to remain in the group. Money is not the only way people can be compensated. In this economy, yes, it is. Much of our teaching is not for sale and you cannot pay us for it. Then, okay, here's what I don't understand. If you really believe in what you are selling, Jeff, and this isn't a money grab, and you truly believe in this idea that you can attract wealth, and you're not exploiting people by selling these programs, why not just keep posting everything for free on YouTube? You can make a lot of money on YouTube. I have friends that make 6 figures a month off of YouTube. They have millions of subscribers and have been in the game for a while. But you don't have to exploit people to create abundance and make a lot of money. You don't. So if you were really offering something that was so valuable to people and you were attracting the audience that you claim that you're attracting, why couldn't you just post up on YouTube? Why not? Oh, is it because what you say is not actually that valuable and a lot of people might see what you're doing and have a lot of red flags? Is it because you have to sell coaching because people aren't actually being attracted to the stuff that you're putting out there for free? Could that be it? Have you claimed that this is the only way to finding your divine union or whatever you call it, and you're too afraid to let that information out for free because people might not respond to it the way that they would if they had paid for it already? I think there is something psychological about paying for something and you want to make sure that you use it. You want to make sure that you get the value for what you're paying for. It's like a gym membership or a dance class. Like I take dance classes and I make sure I get to dance as often as I can because I want it to be worth my while. If I didn't have to pay for those classes, I probably wouldn't show up as much. It's an incentive. So people are subconsciously incentivized by paying for this class, especially if they've had to go into debt to pay for classes, which some people have been encouraged to open a credit card and pay for these coachings and these classes to find their lover, and then they go into debt because you're telling them it's what they need when they could find this information online for free, but you're creating so much value and it's like you're serving people so much. If that were true, you wouldn't have to depend on these coachings. You're not providing real value because your YouTube channel, and I get it, I'm a small YouTube channel, but I'm in the beginning. I'm trying to grow my channel, right? Because I want to create awareness about groups like this. But you've been in the game for what, since 2015? And your channel has like 25,000 subs and your views are not that high and you've had to shut off all your comments because you keep saying terrible things and people want to call you out for it and you can't really filter the comments out as easily on YouTube? Is that why you created these courses that you're manipulating people into buying? Give me a break, dude. The highest and best parts, actually, we don't sell for any amount of money. Shaleia and I do coach people regularly for free. Show me. Can I have a coaching for free? Because according to you, I probably am I have a lot of upsets probably. We stopped when sessions reached $1,000 for an hour of my time because it wasn't worth my time. And the amount of money it would cost for it to be worth my time would be well outside the reality for pretty much anyone in our market. Really? From a guy who doesn't have enough free information to share with a YouTube channel or content? I mean, you don't even and I'm not someone that snubs people for not having high follower count, but his point is that he and Shaleia are simply attracting abundance. But if they really were attracting abundance, they wouldn't need to have BS coaching programs where they could con people into giving them that amount of money. Are you kidding me? We decided to create a better opportunity so others of an economic station could afford our higher teaching and personal support in a way that benefits everyone. That is the volunteer system. But they're still working for you. Would you pay them $1,000 for 40 hours of work? It just doesn't feel like an even trade to me. Together we build the kingdom of heaven and all benefit from the abundance generated. This is crazy. We developed complex systems which do a lot of the work and deal making for us to create value in the lives of our clients. It's part of what we teach in Life Purpose class, which you can pay for. Why is that exciting? Oh boy, I get to pay for it? Ooh, shut up. Building pipelines to cultivate multiple streams of passive wealth flows to grow and produce your prosperity on autopilot. You know what else you can grow on autopilot if you just consistently upload for free? YouTube. It's called residual income. Give me a break. All right, here we go. It's why so many people, over 150 now, and with a wait list, are knocking down our door to volunteer. We keep raising requirements for volunteering because it is such an incredibly valuable opportunity. Because you're making it sound like this, like your time is so valuable. And I bet, Jeff, that these volunteers have access to you more than people who are just joining the open forum and kind of like checking it out, right? You probably talk to the volunteers. You probably have weekly, monthly Zoom meetings with the volunteers. You just said you have coachings with the volunteers. So it's just more of you manipulating them. If you are or have been a volunteer for Jeff and Shaleia, I would love to talk to you and get an idea of what that looked like. I would love it. Please email me. Nowhere else can you get the kind of spiritual mentorship that we provide, and it doesn't matter where you are on your journey. Yikes. Wealth is a vibration. Poverty consciousness limits one's mindset, narrows one's thinking, and prevents one from recognizing that wealth is something you can choose to create for yourself. I assure you, I enjoy driving our Mercedes Maybach far more than I did driving our 1998 Saturn, whose exhaust pipe was broken in the engine compartment and which funneled fumes into the cabin anytime we would turn the air vents on. Keep the windows closed and the air on, and you may not survive. One is less supportive than the other. Each had its place in my life journey. I can tell you which one I prefer and which one I recommend. Wealth is a vibration you can choose to cultivate in your life. Every person can become wealthy doing anything their heart calls. No industry or life purpose path is excluded. You can create enormous value in the lives of others through any career modality, but especially scamming people who just want to get married and fall in love. GTFO, Jeff. It will require enormous effort. But I thought you could just attract it. Couldn't you? Isn't that what you teach though? Is that you can just like attract it? But I guess you have to put effort in because you have to take the courses which cost money, so then you have to put effort. I don't know, it's just like getting really cyclical like this for me, Jeff, and I don't know if like a true point is being made. Far, far more effort than you may realize. Whatever you think it will take to become extremely wealthy, multiply that by 100 and maybe you're getting the right idea. That's why we provide Life Purpose class. You can manifest your spiritual fortune on earth, but the way to do that without selling your soul is to live your purpose. Haven't you sold your soul, Jeff? Haven't you sold your soul? Because this is disgusting what you're doing to people. It is the best way to generate the energy necessary to create great prosperity because it is the way that will bring you the most joy and thereby carry you to your life of wealth in the easiest way. We also teach Life Purpose class because once you come into harmonious union with your twin flame, your path doesn't end there. From there, you build a life together, and a life of purpose will bring you the greatest joy and fulfillment. So this whole post is a way for them to sell you more courses, especially if you've already found your twin flame, or maybe the twin flame concept doesn't resonate with you. He's like, well, we've got something else for you. You can take our Life Purpose course, and it's only $8,888 or however much it costs. That's what he's doing with this, okay? He's simultaneously using flowery language to deny every accusation that is coming his way by saying, well, I'm wealthy. That means I've created value for people. Obviously, I've created a great product that works for people. I'm not a cult leader. I've created a great product for people that they're purchasing. I mean, just look at my Porsche, look at my Mercedes, look at my mansion. And if you want what I have, and you have your twin flame, even better. We have another course for you. Buy it. Buy it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being wealthy and choosing to create a life of prosperity and abundance. Wealth is created by providing value to others. When you provide value to others, they appreciate you by paying you. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this. It's a beautiful expression of love and appreciation for others. Not when you're making them pay for access to your programs. If it was a pay what you can and someone was like, this was so beneficial. At first I paid $5 for it, but I'm so grateful for all of the stuff that you've shared with me. I want to give you 100. Or this I know is beneficial. I want to gift this to my friend. They can't afford it, but I'm going to give you $500 because I believe so much that what you're doing is incredible. That is not how this is working. That is not the process. I help others create lives of incredible transcendental joy with their twin flame. I know how to help you get to your harmonious twin flame union. I know how to help you live your life of bliss and joy and purpose. Check out the testimonials on our website if you don't believe me. Don't blindly believe what other people tell you, especially when it comes from those who would benefit in some way from your misery. Trust your intuition and think for yourself. Make a decision to honor yourself and explore and try things. They compel you out for yourself. I think he's made some. He should have proofread this. Jeffrey should have proofread this. Make a decision to honor yourself and explore and try things. They compel that. Maybe he means that compel you. Try them out for yourself is what he's trying to say. This is the point where he's like, don't listen to the naysayers. This is what he's saying without saying it, right? Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't listen to the negative people that have negative things to say about my group. Try it out for yourself. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. You're not going to get anywhere listening to the opinions of those who don't have what you desire. Okay, in that case, listen to my opinion. Okay. I randomly showed up to my now fiance's house almost 8 years ago on a random girls' trip to the city he was living in. Okay? I just showed up to his house because the friend I was traveling with knew his roommate. That's how we met. That is pretty wow, amazing, credit to the universe or whatever for guiding us together, right? Incredible. And we were long distance for 4 years. We've been living together for 4 years now. We're getting married, hopefully, next year. So if that is something that you are looking for, if you are looking for a long-term partner, I implore you to listen to my testimonial and my opinion because we have a healthy relationship and we didn't have to pay Jeff to find it, okay? We just had to understand what we were looking for individually, and then he fits all the type of person, he fits everything I've ever wanted, and I discover more and more of those qualities every single day because it cannot be defined. Attraction cannot be defined. It's something that cannot barely even be explained. So if you're going to listen to someone's opinion, please listen to mine because my opinion is that Jeff is full of okay? And you do not need to pay for his courses in order to find your partner. You just don't. You don't. Put yourself out there and trust that the right person will come into your life. You don't need to force it. It shouldn't feel hard. It should feel simple and easy. And yes, there were obstacles with me and my fiance's relationship, but we overcame them because we love each other. It wasn't argumentative, it wasn't toxic, it wasn't dangerous. He wasn't with someone else, I wasn't with someone else. But the challenges that were distance, and we overcame that because we trusted that if we were meant to be together, we would. And I'm not saying that's exactly how it's going to be for you, but I'm saying you just don't need to pay for a course like this. You just don't. Whether you believe in twin flames or soulmates or whatever, you don't need to pay someone like Jeff to tell you how to find your twin flame or tell you who your twin flame is. You just don't need it. So then he followed it up with a picture of his vehicle, which I'm not going to share just because I don't want to be doxing or accused of doxing. I'm just gonna, hopefully I'll trust that that's what he did, okay? And someone responded, "You are rich only because of all the people you fooled." And Jeff responded, "Thinking like this does," he says, sorry, he's full of typos, y'all. "Thinking like this would not create prosperity in your life. Is that not an important goal for you?" So what he's saying is, you thinking that I'm fooling people to get wealthy is only making you poor. Get out of here. This person responded, Jeff, prosperity is one of my great goals in life, but not only economic prosperity. I hope that right now you pay fair enough wages to all the people who work for you. Equity is also a sign of prosperity. And Jeff responds, all my agreements with others are generous. Generosity creates prosperity. How are you generous? What are you providing them? You're driving around in a Porsche and have multiple cars when there are people who are like literally starving and you're convincing them to buy your course, allegedly? Come on. Shaleia responds, of course she does, because this is all a concerted effort by the both of them to like make them both sound not guilty, right? I remember barely surviving, making around $1,000 a month for most of my adult life, but I was never jealous of others who were more fortunate than me. Rather, I would choose to be happy for them and rejoice in their victory. I'd also allow it to be an opportunity to inspire me and my life. My spiritual mentor told me that we all create our own lives. If I see something in her life I like, then go and create it for myself. Never covet the blessings of others. Instead, focus on my dreams. And I did. It was very powerful and life-changing advice because it's true. I desire everyone to manifest their dreams coming true, their heaven on earth. I know if I can do it, then so can anyone. Just never give up on yourself. That's the only requirement. Shaleia says, someone responds to Shaleia and says, happy for your family, Shaleia. Someday fate will bring me to your courses or talks because I certainly can't afford your time right now. However, I value it. Someone responds, girl, you know you can manifest on your own for free, right? You can get anything you want by positively manifesting and speaking it into existence as if you already have it. And Jeff responds to her and says, you can, but why when you can get the support from a professional? This lady's like, hey, like, if you believe in law of attraction, like, you can do this by yourself. Jeff is like, but why? I'm a professional. You're a professional? You're a professional at a spiritual concept? You can't prove that. You can't. What you can prove is that you've taken advantage of and conned a bunch of people. That's what you can do, in my opinion. Someone responds and says, I really hope Netflix gets a hold of this post. Kick me out. I don't really care. This is disgusting considering all the people who are starving and homeless. You need a harsh reality check, my dude. Jeff responds, is there something about this post that you find upsetting? I don't know why I'm trying to like think about why he is responding with these strange questions. I don't know if it's for engagement. I think it's a manipulation tactic. Like, asking her that question when she is clearly already upset is only going to fuel her fire more and make her appear more out there than when other people see it, if that makes sense. So he's responding to her and she's clearly upset. He's saying, is there something about this that's upsetting you? That's going to make her be like, what the heck is wrong with you? Yeah, I'm upset about this, and this. And then he is able to respond, wow, you just are unhealed. And everyone in the group can see that you're unhealed. It's like he's almost like, I don't want to say gaslighting her in a way, but he's like trying to maintain the narrative because he does that with multiple people's posts. Someone else responds, Jeff, you're a con artist. That's what's upsetting. And someone else responds to her, and not even a humble one at that. And Jeff eventually responds, you can't get sick enough to make sick people better. Being poor would not help people in poverty. She's not saying you need to be poor. She's saying like, hey, I know you're a millionaire and you have a Porsche and a mansion and another car and whatever, but like, wouldn't it be cool if you like used your wealth towards something that helps other people? Like helping people in need or like volunteering at a food bank or like donating to children in need, you know? My post touches on this, and also we're helping people out of poverty consciousness just as we rose out of it ourselves, so I don't follow your logic here. He's just trying to get her to like look stupid for everybody else in the group that is still like on Team Jeff, you know? Someone asks, Jeff, do you donate your millions of wealth to those less fortunate? Because that would actually help. Or, you know, pay your staff. That would certainly help them. And he responds to her, no offense, but I'm not sure you're qualified to be giving me financial advice. And Jeff, you're not qualified to be healing people's trauma or assigning wives and husbands to people or telling people that they're actually supposed to be divine masculine or divine feminine and hinting that in order for them to fall in love, they need to change literally everything about themselves. You are disgusting, in my opinion. Someone responds, yikes, the first 2 paragraphs are very cringy. Be humble. This is just gross. Poor guy has to use a different Mercedes while his Porsche gets new tires. Boo-hoo. And only $1 million renovation? That's rough, man. Must be hard living off the money others have given to you for some crack course on absolutely nothing. And someone responds, or he responds to her, I'm not sure my clients would agree with you. You don't need everyone in the world to love what you offer in order to help others. Just one person is enough. Start with yourself. So someone, I don't know if this is a troll or someone like genuinely asking, but someone responds to Jeff and says, hey man, how do I send you a friend request? And Jeff responds, why? And this person goes, because you're famous and it would be badass to have a famous person on my friends list. So selfish reasons. Also, you're an entrepreneur, so I'm guessing you make insightful posts. And Jeff responds, thank you, I sent you a friend request. Like, that's all it takes. This guy just needs you to stroke his ego like that much. And he's like, you are in my circle. Yikes. Someone responded, your teachings on twin flames are not authentic and true. You have made up most, if not all, of these lies to manipulate the members. Most, if not all, of your members are going through trying times, but then again, isn't that what you prey on? Oh, sorry, she meant to say, isn't that why you prey on the weak? Shame on you. Oh, and shave. My dear, you are not Jesus. You are just a boy. Harm none or it will come back to you. He responds, there's a lot going on here, Denise. Would you care to explain this then? And he shares the testimonials. Like, I just don't trust that those testimonials are true. I mean, he has so much control over these people that have had success stories at this point. It would not surprise me if they were kind of coerced into providing them. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just don't buy it. Someone responds, this is yucky. Jeff responds, sorry, what about it specifically do you find yucky? I find everything about this post to be in excellent order. I'm sure you do, Jeff. I'm sure you do, because you just can't see that you could ever potentially be in the wrong. And guess who else doesn't think that they're in the wrong? Every single cult leader that has ever existed. Someone responds, poor taste. We are in a cost of living crisis and you are boasting about the wealth you have acquired from charging people a fortune and allowing people to work for free while calling it volunteering. Pay people for their time and effort with actual money so they can afford to live. Agreed. And I really want to make a video about the MLM cult connection. I'm working on a collaboration. Well, I need to reach out to her. I really hope she wants to collaborate. But someone responds and says MLM vibe, which I agree. And Jeff responds, well, this is not an MLM and none of our organizations are. I'm not sure there's anything wrong with an MLM organization. Could you explain to me what you feel an MLM is? There is no need to explain what she feels an MLM is, because you can just go to the FTC website and it will outline to you why they're dangerous and predatory. Just like something else, the Twin Flames universe. Give me a break. Someone responds, wow, you are making yourself out to be the money-hungry guy from the Netflix documentary. This confirms it for me now. And he says, I'm not sure anything I can say or do will change your opinion of me. Is there something you feel I should be seeking to change? Like, what? And she responds, I feel that flaunting your expensive cars and obvious wealth makes you out to be more interested in wealth than people. If you truly want to help people reach a spirituality and or be with their spiritual partner, why would you post pictures of materialistic means? Do you donate money to charity? Do you see how many people are homeless? Do you see other parents that are living in broke down cars? And I can't see the rest of her response, but then she responds again and says, since my response was removed by an administrator, I will ask it again. Do you use any of your income to donate to charities instead of having multiple expensive cars? Would you donate money to a homeless shelter? Donate to those in need? Donate to parents whom are struggling to make ends meet and are living in their cars that barely even run? I think being in the powerful position you're in, you would benefit from helping others financially as well as in your coaching. And Jeff responds, in true Jeff fashion, What we do here is far more valuable for society than any charity I've encountered so far. It's better for humanity to invest our wealth into our systems than to give it to someone else. That being said, Shaleia does dabble with charities from time to time, donating every year to multiple charities. The thought system I'm offering here is one of expanding wealth and prosperity for all. I am careful not to disempower people by creating dependency. I want to support each person in learning to create prosperity for themselves. This is what our work teaches. And someone responds, man, that's a long-winded no. It's literally like if your parents like kicked you out of the house right when you were 18 and they were like, this is how I'm teaching you how to survive. And the person's like, I have no money and nowhere to live and I'm going to college and I don't have time for a job. Like, how are you helping me? So this is why I think he's actually asking questions to people that respond negatively to this post, which I should mention, and I'm surprised I haven't thought to mention this yet. Most responses to this post were negative, and most reactions to the post were negative. So I think that the group is being so infiltrated with like trolls or just people who are curious that most people are reacting negatively, because then all of a sudden it'll be like heart reactions from multiple people. And it's like, obviously these are either like your admins or your top contributors, so people that you're probably like your volunteers or your other coaches, and you're like, oh my gosh, you need to go like this post, you need to go heart this post, you need to go support this post, because most of the responses are negative. Someone responds, this is the most disgusting post, shame on you. Jeff responds, can you be more specific? There's a lot going on in this post, and to wholesale say it's disgusting seems rather limiting. For example, there is absolutely nothing wrong with being wealthy. So you think it's disgusting for me to say this, and you believe wealth is disgusting, and all people who have it are disgusting, and everyone who should live in abject poverty? This is the classic, like, narcissistic way to respond to something. You, like, pick away at a response instead of, like, recognizing, like, look, I'm sorry if something I said made you feel that way, but this is genuinely how I would have more respect for Jeff if he was like, look, I respect that you feel this way, but this is what I believe, and I'm really like sorry if it doesn't resonate with you, or something similar. I don't know. I don't even know if I could find respect for Jeff at this point. And then he responds to himself and says, looks like she left. I would not be surprised if she did not leave and she was kicked out. So I think that's why he started like responding to people and asking those weird questions, because he was able to then say, like, he would prompt them to respond, kick them out of the group, and then respond to himself saying, I guess they left. I guess they left. They didn't leave, Jeff. You kicked them out because they questioned you. In my opinion, allegedly. Someone responds, brags for several paragraphs, provides an ableist and unrealistic view of wealth, fails to acknowledge anybody who helped generate free labor in order to gain this level of wealth, and then tries to sell a class. Mind blown. He responds, the way you just ignored everything I said for your own narrative was special. Thanks for that. I had a mini lull. She goes, I don't know what a mini lull is, but you're welcome. She goes, it's like a little toot. See, he's not able to acknowledge that any of her points were actually incredibly valid. So instead he has to like insult her and be like, wow, you really didn't like pay attention to my whole post. You ignored a lot of what I said, and it was just laughable. And she's like, no, I'm making extremely valid points. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Approaching the matter in this way is not serving you and your organization. Going on the attack in this way is not making you look any more reputable. It is actually making you look more like a cult leader. If you're going to deny, and like, you can't claim, here's the thing. He can't claim realistically that every single accusation that has been made against him, Shaleia, his coaches, and his organization as a whole, he cannot claim that they are all false. What do these people, these victims, have to gain from showing their face on a Netflix special or an Amazon Prime special that will have millions of eyes on them, where they're vulnerable, where they're admitting to wrongdoing, where they're sharing extremely vulnerable parts of themselves. What do they have to gain by lying about it? What do they have to gain? They're already experiencing public shame, scrutiny, people making fun of them, people questioning their reality, and of course, a ton of support. What do they stand to gain? I have someone coming on my channel this week, and they are speaking anonymously about their experience being in this group because they don't want any pushback. What does this person have to gain from coming out publicly about their experience? Absolutely nothing. What does Jeff have to lose when all of these people are making accusatory statements about him that could bring his whole business crumbling to the ground? Oh, I don't know, his Porsche, his Mercedes, his $1 million home, his company as a whole. He has a lot to lose. And instead of trying to say, look, I respect that people had a negative experience. I want to understand how I can genuinely make it a better one for my future clients. He can't say that. He can't say that because now it's at the point where legally he would have to be held accountable for the things that he did. I mean, he could be sued. There could be legal backlash to what he's done. There could be. So if he were to make any statements that positively identify himself as a perpetrator of at least some of these allegations, that would imply that all of the allegations are true. So instead of taking any type of accountability or saying we are going to have an investigation, or I am sorry I misled people with my statement, I should have been more clear, or I did not realize the scope of what my words, I did not realize the deep impact my words were having on certain people to the point that they changed their gender, or changed how they identify, or isolated themselves from their family. All he's done is deny the allegations and then go on the attack and basically say that anyone who has an opposing position against what he's doing is wrong, fearful, sad, living in fear, all of the classic jargon that a cult leader would use to create an us versus them mentality, because that's what he's doing. Because he doesn't want people in his group to go watch the documentary. He doesn't want people in his group to find a video like this. He doesn't want people in his group to turn against him suddenly. He has too much to lose. The victims who have allegations against him, there's no real gain for them because they could face legal action. They could face so many negative experiences. So what do they have to gain by coming out publicly with their story? And the thing is, too, if you're discouraging members of your group to not seek out other information, you are essentially controlling the information that they have access to. He should be telling everyone in his group, hey, everyone, these documentaries have come out. We are trying to investigate where the misunderstanding happened. I am trying to understand how I can improve the way I communicate so that things are not misunderstood. If you watch the Netflix documentary and you have feedback for me or you have questions, please come. Let's do an actual open forum where he sits down and openly asks questions and he does not shy away from the negative questions. That's how a responsible business owner or someone who is not guilty would be responding to this. But he is refusing to do that. He would rather fight and attack than actually take accountability, because it is my belief that him and people like him are incapable of taking any true accountability. So I know this video is getting extremely long, and I'm grateful if you've stayed here the entire time. And I know I can get a little snarky towards Jeff, and I don't want that to minimize the point I'm trying to make. Because the point I'm trying to make is this person is not capable, in my opinion, of taking any ownership and accountability, or even risking his business and his reputation to do the responsible thing. And the responsible thing would be to take at least some accountability. But he can't do that because his business is vulnerable. So he is lashing out and trying to, without outwardly saying, I am against these people, he's using word salads and flowery. A word salad, if you don't know, is just when they say a lot of fluff without actually making a real point. That's what that post was. A whole lot of fluff, no real point, and he's doing that so that he doesn't outwardly come out and say, this Netflix documentary, Escaping Twin Flames, is completely false. This Prime Video documentary, Desperately Seeking Soulmates, is completely false. He can't come out and say any of that because then people would probably go watch that media, right? And he's so afraid to say there were allegations made. We are doing an investigation. I'm taking business coaching to understand how I can more clearly communicate. He can't admit to any of that because now there are so many allegations that admitting to one is admitting to them all. That's what I think. I want to know what you guys think. I really appreciate your support on this channel. I promise you I have other videos and other topics I want to address, but so much keeps coming out. And just like Osho, it's so easy to forget the damage that was done to people over time. And when you first looked up, when you would first Google Twin Flames Universe, back when the documentaries were first being released, it was all about the problematic things that were exposed in the documentary. And now, more recently, if you search it online, it just pops right back to Twin Flames Universe. And the thing is, Jeff is at the level where he does have the necessary means to probably pay to get his ad for his website to be on top of all of the negative commentary on the internet right now. And so if we stop talking about it, if we stop trying to expose the damage that is being done or trying to be hidden, we'll forget all about this and more people will fall for this scam. And that's the purpose of why I continue to make these videos. I want more people to be aware, and I'm trying to present the information in a way that is digestible, and I make jokes and react the way I do sometimes because it feels so heavy sometimes, and I'm not trying to make light of anything or judge anybody, but if you are someone in that group and you are pushing back against Jeff, keep going, way to go. The more the current followers see the pushback, it might just plant little bits of seeds of doubt in their heads. It might. So if you're in that group, keep asking those questions, keep challenging, because people who are brainwashed, they might not even think those questions anymore. So I highly encourage you to do that. I highly encourage you to keep educating yourself. And look, I'm not trying to change anybody's mind. I am just trying to get people to think and critically think and consider all sides of a situation. I've said many times, if Twin Flames resonates with you, that is awesome. But you shouldn't have to pay someone to find you your twin flame. You shouldn't. That's it. You shouldn't have to change yourself to be accepted by your twin flame. None of that. So that is where I'm going to conclude this video today. I am incredibly grateful for your support, and please stay compassionate and respectful in the comments down below. Thank you all so much. Don't forget to check out that Amazon wish list in the link below and help a single mother this holiday season. And I really appreciate you for being here today. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.